Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Urban Update. I'm Byron Barnett. On the show today, making miracles happen for families from all over the world at the top-ranked pediatric hospital in the nation. Also, coping with some major health disparities during Prostate Cancer Month. And World Unity, Inc. is in the house. But up first, the Donald. He has been hogging the headlines since he first announced his presidency. Yes, GOP candidate Donald Trump gets us started this morning as his controversial ousting of Univision anchor Jorge Ramos from a press conference and his arrival in Boston last week kept the billionaire candidate in the news. To offer her perspective, we've invited Boston Globe editorial and opinion writer Marcela Garcia, who, like her colleague Jorge Ramos, is a native of Mexico, an object of many of Trump's comments. Welcome to Urban Update, Marcela. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
Well, you know, we've been hearing Donald Trump say, the Latinos love me, they love me. Do the Latinos love Donald Trump?
Well, look.
Not that you speak for all Latinos,
right.
Of course.
Look, Latinos are a big group here, and I'm sure there's a couple of people that find him funny or attractive or appealing. In fact, just this week, there was a Wall Street Journal column detailing some of the people or interviewing some of the people, Latinos, that actually like Donald Trump. But it's, 3 against, millions. You're talking about someone who fundamentally offended the Latino community here in the U.S. And he can keep saying, Latinos love me, but, the numbers are showing something different. His favorability ratings are in the negative numbers among Hispanics, and that's not good, obviously.
Is this going to sink the GOP as far as the Hispanic vote?
It could.
The presidential.
It totally could. The GOP doesn't really have a good memory. Even in 2012, they commissioned a report that specifically said that they needed to make amends with the Latino community, and if they didn't do outreach with Latinos, they would, for sure, regardless of the candidate, lose the presidency in 2016. And just look at the numbers. Every 30 seconds, a Latino reaches voting age in this country, which means that for the next 20 years, every month you're going to have 600,000 brand new voters. So the math just doesn't lie. So you just have to look at the numbers, and whether this is going to sink the GOP, it remains to be seen, but it's very likely.
Now let's get to that incident, I guess, just a few days ago, a couple of weeks ago. You're a journalist. You're also Mexican, just like Jorge Ramos, Univision anchor. Now, what was your reaction when you saw that clip of him getting bounced out of the Trump news conference?
I was appalled. It was very appalling, and what really, really shocked me was the other journalist's reaction that just sat there, and didn't stand up for one of their own. I was shocked and immediately thought that if that had happened to another journalist from any other media outlet, they would have immediately walked out after them and just stand in solidarity.
Some even criticized Jorge Ramos, and I'm thinking to myself, can someone show me a rule book of press conferences? I've been to plenty of press conferences. I mean, there basically are no rules. So.
Right, journalists, they have just one job, to question, period.
What about Ernie Bach? He came to Boston recently, Norwood specifically, Ernie Bach's house, for a $100 a head. They say it's not a fundraiser, but it was an event. I don't know what else you'd call it, but you got a billionaire and a multi-millionaire having a $100 head thing. What do you make of that? I
thought it was just a circus, honestly. His campaign, Trump's campaign, has been propelled by a circus after circus. We were just talking about this, how it's essentially a reality TV show, and eventually just it's going to die. It was very interesting. I was hearing a lot of people in the local Latino community say that they were going to boycott Ernie Bach Jr. because he had, welcomed Trump. So I hope that happens.
Well, now, look at the poll numbers. He's been at the top of the polls for the last several weeks here, last couple of months. What do you think? Does that worry you? Do you think that he has a shot at the nomination?
It doesn't worry me. It's very early. You're talking about a race. We're about 400 days away from the actual election, and early polling has historically been very, very unreliable. So I don't think that says too much.
What are your thoughts about why he is as popular as he is?
I think he really has tapped into a segment of the population that feels very strongly about what he says, as crazy as that may sound. You know, he talks about this deep anti-immigrant sentiment and sealing the borders and, you know, fear of the day, the they, you know, being immigrants and Latinos and how they're robbing us of, you know, whatever, jobs, everything, welfare. And so there are a ton of people that think that way in this country, and they just hadn't been given an outlet. It's like Trump coming now into the spotlight is like has given them permission to come out, which ironically I think it's great because, you know, I'm with people that say that, you know, the sunlight is the best disinfectant and you should really know what's out there.
Okay, just for fun here, how about a little prediction? How do you think, we don't know, it's every day it's something new with him. How do you think this is going to play out in 2016 with Donald Trump?
I have a very, very radical prediction. I think he's going to end up running as an independent, and he's probably going to divide the Republican vote. You know, it's like that saying, divide and conquer. I think that's ultimately going to be his strategy because the Republicans are never going to nominate him.
Okay, Marcela.
So you heard it here first.
You heard it here first. Marcela Garcia, thanks for coming in. And,
Thank you.
We'll wait and see if your prediction comes true. Thanks
Thank
for
you.
coming in. Okay, when we return, details on an event that truly helps to make miracles happen at Boston Children's Hospital. We'll have the details when we return. Stay with us.